Hello and welcome back to Lorcana Villain. My name is Baker and it's an exciting day. We have just had a whole bunch of cards revealed from the upcoming Set 7, Archazia's Island. All the information courtesy of the Disney Lorcana website. We were told that the 10th was the day where reveal season was going to start. We know that tomorrow on the 11th there is going to be a stream on the Disney Lorcana Discord server with some content creators and artists where we've been led to believe we're going to see a bunch. But yeah, the Lorcana website just dropped a whole bunch of cards. I've literally looked at maybe 2 or 3 of them and then I've immediately got set up and ready to record. So these are going to be organic reactions to all of these cards. A shout out to the channel sponsor Cardmarket. If you're looking for Lorcana singles, then check out Cardmarket. There's an exciting day. I was planning on recording the next episode of the Set Championship Showcase to finish going through the rest of the deck list for that people have sent in for Set Championships, and that will still come soon, but this is exciting. We're going to jump straight in. So as I said, if you go to the Disney Lorcana website and go to news, you can see a bunch of articles that were uploaded today. So we'll start off with the first one. Enter Archazia's Island. After a daring adventure across the sparkling Azurite Sea, you arrived on the shores of a mysterious island, a paradise teeming with playful cats, loyal dogs, and all sorts of enchanting creatures. As you venture toward the towering citadel in the island's heart, a figure cloaked in elegant owl regalia? Probably mispronouncing that, greets you. Her wings stretch wide in welcome. Archazia's a girl, confirmed. But her eyes, hidden behind a mask, hint at the secrets she holds. So I think that nearly all but confirms that this is Archazia. We looked at this artwork in depth not too long ago on the channel when it was first revealed. And I said in all likelihood it probably is Archazia, but it wasn't confirmed. Like, it could be a descendant of Archazia, and this is the mask that represents Archazia, and they're sort of like honouring them. But I think based off that paragraph, I think the assumption that this is Archazia holds true. Meet Archazia, an ancient Illumineer with wisdom from a forgotten age. She's ready to share her knowledge, but only with those bold enough to seek it. Under her guidance, you'll unlock the ability to harness even more powerful ink casting magic. At the heart of the island, hidden behind the citadel's high walls, lies a legendary forge, a place where some of the most unique talismans in all of Lorcana were crafted. Oh, I love the lore, man. These magical items are incredible to wield, but they come with a warning. If the wrong hands grasp them, as the Ursula Glimmer once did with the Hexwell Crown, chaos will follow. To protect the forge, Archazia has built intricate traps and trials. Now these challenges will become your training grounds, sharpening your skills and pushing your ink casting to new heights. Until now, you've only been able to ink cast single ink glimmers, but under Archazia's tutelage, you'll learn the art of dual ink casting, a powerful technique that lets you blend 2 inks together for glimmers beyond your wildest dreams. Prepare yourself, because when inks unite, a unique magic is unleashed. All this learning and new power is crucial as a sinister plot is forged in the background. Is the cunning vizier at the center of it all? Who hypnotized the Basil Glimmer? Is it too late to stop the danger that approaches? The Illumineers best figure it out soon. There's not much sand left in the hourglass. This is only the start of the story of Archazia's Island, for within each booster pack, players and collectors will find a lore card. Each is a page that, when put together with the other lore cards, reveals an exciting adventure. Collect them all to discover more of the story. Mate, I love it! I love it so much, and here we see them. We'd already seen this art on one of the cards when we had the Trove revealed. So we'd seen this one, looks super cool. And here we see part of a building that seems to be in Archazia's honor, or maybe it's where they live. And we've got one of these lore cards. Very good, the owl flapped excitedly. Soon we'll be seeing a flood of dual ink glimmers out of you. Martin winced, the events of the flood still heavy on his mind. Ah, yes, I'm sorry. Poor choice of words. The owl paused. Let's just say, your talent may soon eclipse mine. She cocked her head, and I've been around a while. Mate, I'm so excited. I love this idea. But let's get to the bit I know the majority of the people are actually interested in, the cards. We've already had the art for this Bolt reveal. By the way, watch Bolt. literally the night before last for the first time ever, purely because, again, it's coming to the game, so I want to know more about it. I was not ready for the emotional roller coaster that film took me on. Not today's video, but I'm going to talk a bit about Bolt in an upcoming video. Overall, it was a really good film. First 2 minutes were iffy, but yeah, we'll talk about it another time. But yeah, good film and a real emotional roller coaster. But nonetheless, here he is. We got Bolt, Super Dog, 5-cost inkable, 3/5. He is an Amber Steel Dual Ink, Quest for 2, Shift 3, and spoilers, I haven't read it yet, but I have seen there is another Bolt, a cheaper one, so we'll get to him soon. And 2 abilities. We have Mark of Power. Whenever you ready this character, gain 1 lore for each other undamaged character you have in play. That's pretty interesting. And Bolt Stare. Exert to banish chosen illusion character. We talked a bit about illusions when we looked at the Iago card that was previously revealed, and the vanish keyword, where if an illusion is targeted by any action, it's immediately banished, which is obviously a negative keyword to have to try and balance the slightly better stat line that we expect most of these cards to have. But the Iago is the only illusion we've seen so far, so we need to see a lot more to see if we think they are actually going to impact the meta. If they do, then having this Bolt Stare is, you know, it's good to have. You would probably prefer just to have an action that targets that can take it out, but you might not have access to that, so I'd rather have it and not need it than the opposite. But Mark of Power, whenever you ready this character, gain 1 lore for each undamaged character you haven't played. That is some insane jump potential, and I would assume that this includes when he just readies for turn. So if your opponent ends, like if you've got an exerted Bolt on board and past your opponent, they take a turn and it's still on board, then as you ready at the beginning of your turn, I would imagine you would gain the lore for each of the other characters you have on board that aren't damaged, and it may be difficult for your opponent to interact with them if they're ready. So that's a really interesting ability that could have some legs on it. And again, for Steel Amber, this is a Shift 3, sing a 5-cost song, so definitely an interesting card. Moving on, we've got an Emerald card. He's a Tramp. This is another film of course I'd seen Lady and the Tramp before, but I rewatched it, obviously in honor of it coming to Lorcana, and yeah, it is a classic. He's a Tramp, but they love him. 1-cost inkable song. Chosen character gets +1 strength this turn for each character you have in play. So worth mentioning straight away, again, this is an action that can target a character, so if illusions end up being good and the vanish keyword is around, then at the very least this is dealing with illusions. In and of itself, just being able to plus, it would be at least 1 because the character would include himself. There are probably better ways to increase strength, so I'm not too mad about this card in particular, but cool art for sure. And we've got Marie. I think it's Marie. I need to rewatch the Aristocats. It's been a while since I've seen that. I think it's Marie. Yeah, Mary would be a Y, surely. Yeah, I think it's Marie. But Favoured Kitten, welcome the Aristocats. 2-cost inkable, 1/2, quest for 2. Whenever this character quests, you may give chosen character -2 strength this turn, which is nice for challenges, or just for these cards that we have that care about strength, like your likes of Brawl, the likes of Under the Sea, things like that. And she quests for 2. Nothing too spectacular, but she's sure cute. And we've got a Jafar, Aspiring Ruler. 3-cost inkable, 3/2, quest for 2. And that's better. When you play this character, chosen character gets Challenger 2 this turn, which is not a bad ability to give. Suddenly something that your opponent was ignoring suddenly has the potential to actually make a favourable challenge. Obviously, we already have a decent Floodborn Jafar in the form of the Striking Illusionist. You generally see the 2-cost Raw Vizier Jafar played as one of the shift targets for him, along with the Dreadnought. If we ever want more shift targets, then this is one, and it does quest for 2. It doesn't immediately strike me as one of the better Jafars, but the art's super cool. Questing for 2 isn't irrelevant, and again, Floodborn targets aren't a bad thing at all, and I expect we're going to get a Floodborn Jafar at some point, maybe not in amongst these reveals. I didn't notice one at my quick glance through, but eventually, hopefully. Moving on to Pet Pals Pounce into the Realm. Meet the new furry faces joining your quests. Archazia's Island is a place of mystery and adventure, but it is also a haven for some of the most beloved Disney pups, cats, and even a hamster. Oh, we're getting, from Bolt, Rhino. Rhino was cool. Heal for a moment and discover who's joining the pack. The finest cats in all of Paris have made their way to the realm of Lorcana. It's the Aristocats ready to sing, dance, and paint their way into your hand. These cuddly friends, except for Edgar, will have you feeling fine on your quest. Very good. So let's start off with Thomas O'Malley, Feline Charmer in Emerald, 3 cost inkable, 4/2, quest for 1, and Ward. Hey, the Prince Philip has been seeing some play. Admittedly, he quests for 2, and that's a big difference. So yeah, not the like 4/2 is a fine stat line on a Ward character. I think I would need this to be questing for 2 to really warrant it. But again, any character later on, if we get a shift, something to shift onto it, then this is a shift target with Ward is not bad, and 4's a good amount of strength to have. But yeah, not overly excited by this one. Well, not in terms of playability, but cool to have Thomas O'Malley in the game. Next up, not sure of the pronunciation here. Is it Berlioz or Berlioz? I will rewatch the Aristocats. Mischievous Kitten, 3 cost inkable, 2/5, quest for 1. Look what I found. Can we stay here and play? 2/5 is not a bad stat line. Again, if we were Amber, then we would talk about, you know, potentially good for setting up Rapunzel traps. Maybe Emerald gets something similar to Rapunzel, where this sort of stat line is beneficial. Nothing too crazy, but cool. Next up, we got Duchess, Elegant Feline, 2 cost inkable, 3/2, quest for 1. Now, darlings, pay close attention to where we are. What can you learn about the owl from the house? Beautiful art. Stat line's fine. 3/2 on a 2 cost is fine. Next up, we've got Edgar Balthazar, Ambitious Butler, 5 cost inkable, 6/5, quest for 1. All these traps, all these locks, all these machines. If they think that's going to stop me, they've sorely underestimated Edgar Balthazar. I don't think that's the right voice, but this is some fantastic art. Nothing too special, but he's a big boy. Next up, and I'm going to get heat for not knowing the pronunciation of this one, because this is like one of the main characters, I swear. Toulouse. I will rewatch the Aristocats. Artistic Kitten, 1 cost inkable. Love the art for this. Super cool. 1/3, quest for 1. He squeezed more paint from the tube and wiggled in delight. Archazia was fun, even if she was a giant owl. She had so many new colours to paint with. Very cute. We've already looked at this Marie, so we move down to Bolt. While Bolt may believe he's a super dog, in the realm of Lorcana, he'll certainly make you feel like one. Embark with him and his fellow Glimmers, and you two might save the day. So let's start off with the baby Bolts, because we've seen the Floodborn. We've got Bolt, Dependable Friend, 4 cost inkable, 2/4, support, and quest for 2. Only 2 strength is a little bit sad without Ward. Probably not the most reliable shift target. Questing for 2 is fine, but yeah, not my favourite shift target for all the Floodborn that we've seen. I much prefer this Steel one. Headstrong Dog, 2 cost inkable, 1/3, quest for 1. Whenever this character quests, if he has no damage, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. That's a pretty cool ability to have on what is definitely so far our preferred shift target for the Floodborn Bolt. So yeah, not bad at all. Next up, we've got Dr. Calico, Green-Eyed Man. Pretty cool villain. 4 cost inkable, 3/4, quest for 1. You're beginning to irk me. While this character has no damage, he gains resist 2. That's not bad at all. Questing for 1, unfortunately, I feel like he definitely has a ceiling. Super cool art, love that. And yeah, probably quite tricky to remove, but I don't know if we're dropping any of our current cards for this. And we've got Mittens, who has such a sad, well, it's a happy ending. But she's a sad character, bless her. Sassy Street Cat, 5 cost uninkable, 4/5, quest for 2. Bodyguard, and no thanks necessary. Once during your turn, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, your other characters with Bodyguard get +1 lore this turn. Now, this kind of reminds me of, I think it's set 5. It's set 4 or 5. It's a Prince John Floodborn who gives a lore pip to a bodyguard, something along those lines. That's not completely accurate, but it'll be coming up on the screen right now. Sorry, I said Prince John. Little John. Yeah, it's this one. While this character is exerted, your characters with Bodyguard gain resist 1 and an extra lore pip. So this was the first thing to come to mind. And yeah, we have a decent amount of bodyguards. The Photosphere item could also give Bodyguard to a character. So there may be some synergy here. This being uninkable is a shame. And I think makes me hesitant to say that this would see play. But again, if the more pieces we get to this kind of like Bodyguard, add lore pips, add resist, all this sort of stuff that we get, then that's a good thing. Moving on to Lady and the Tramp. These additions will have anyone howling. Lady, Tramp, and the rest of the dog pack are the most loyal glimmers anyone could ask for. Fetch them from your collection, enlist them onto your team, and you may have a victorious tale to tell and wag. I'm loving these lines. So let's start off with a spaghetti dinner, 2-cost uninkable item, and fine dining. Exert and pay 1. If you have 2 or more characters in play, gain 1 lore. That's dangerous. There's a couple of cards that can re-ready items as well. It's the Audrey, is that her name? Yeah, Audrey Ramirez can ready items. Prepare your bots, I think, can ready items. And there might be something else. So this is potentially quite dangerous. I'm not going to spend too long on it now, but being uninkable really hurts it. And it's probably a bit too situational, but there's some cheesy combos I'm sure we could set up with this. Next up, we've got Lady, Elegant Spaniel, 1 cost uninkable, 1/2 stat line, quest for 1, and a dog's life. While you have a character named Tramp in play, this character gets a +1 lore. Yes, 10 out of 10, no notes. Are you sure we're allowed in here? Jim Deere would never allow me in the kitchen. She's so cute, man, and yeah, love the theming of that. So let's see the Tramp himself. Enterprising Dog. 2-cost inkable, 1/3, quest for 1. Hey Pidge, if you have a character named Lady in play, you pay 1 less ink to play this character. Lady is a 1-cost, so yeah, I like that. And no time for wisecracks. When you play this character, chosen character of yours gets +1 strength this turn for each other character you have in play. Also not insignificant. Again, neither of these cards are screaming meta to me. But yeah, there's definitely a fun deck here. And again, whenever we talk about fun decks, there are only a few, like, decent enough cards away from becoming viable. I'm not saying that's definitely the case here, but it could be, but I love the theming between these two. And we already looked at He's a Tramp, so that takes us on to our third and final page, introducing dual ink cards. Ever since we revealed our good friend Bolt, many of you have speculated that dual ink cards were coming to Disney Lorcana TCG, and you were right. Thank you. So what are the dual ink cards? Since the beginning of Lorcana TCG, every card has belonged to one of the 6 magical ink colors: Amethyst, Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire, and Steel. Each of these inks has its own distinctive personality, from both a gameplay and a story perspective. And finally, when you build your own deck, you are limited to having up to 2 different ink colors in it. Dual ink cards belong to 2 inks and have characteristics from both of them. To include them in your deck, you must be playing those 2 colors. There we go. This allows for cards with game effects that would otherwise never be on the same card, as well as characters that can show off more than one of their traits, as well as completely new ones. And you can see we've got a lot of these dual ink cards here. I speculated that, hey, in the past, we've had a few locations every set since they revealed, and like the Sing Together cards and the Floodborns that shift by like discarding certain cards. Those are in the game, but have always been like, there's not been many per set, if any, for certain things. But it seems like we're going to get a decent amount of dual ink cards straight away. So let's jump straight in. We've got the Troubadour, musical narrator, 2-cost ink. Someone photoshopped my face onto this. 2-cost inkable, 1/3, quest for 1, resist 1, and Singer 4. He is an Amber Steel dual ink card. Singer 4 on a 2-cost we know is good from Ursula. This being a 1/3, but resist 1 is super interesting. I don't know how many situations he's better than Ursula, because obviously this resist 1 can, you know, can certainly make a difference if you're challenging with multiple characters. I would have liked this to have been a 1/4 resist 1, because then at least it doesn't fall to Fox straight away, which is a super important interaction. Like if you can sing with your Ursula to remove something and know that they don't have the ability to bounce and play a Fox and make a nice trade there, then that makes this a lot better. So yeah, I'm not sure how much better I think this is than Ursula Vanessa, to be honest. Next up, we've got Pascal, Garden Chameleon. Love this art, very distinctive. 4-cost uninkable, 3/3, quest for 3 with evasive. Yeah, that's a nice stat line to have. On a 4-cost, it is uninkable. Again, like the idea here is like if it's a dual ink card and you are limited to playing it only in decks of both those ink combinations, then yeah, there should be some trade-off there, and it should have some fairly impressive stats. And yeah, this is... These are some pretty impressive stats. Not removed by a single brawl is certainly significant. Amber Amethyst are generally the hyper aggro colours as is. So does this become your preference for your 4-cost over something like a Genie? possibly. Genie's obviously great for drawing cards, but Quest for 3 cannot be ignored. So, yeah, I think there's some potential with this card. Next up, Calhoun, Courageous Rescuer. Look at this art. 6 cost Inkable, 5/5. That yellow and red together is like, so good. Shift 4, you'll have to see it, and back to start positions. Whenever this character challenges another character, you may return a racer character card from your discard to your hand. So only has to challenge, doesn't have to actually banish a character. So let's take a look at our racers. A quick look here. We've got nothing that's overly significant. Obviously, some people, myself included, have been jamming with the Amber Ruby Speedway deck with the locations, to which you can play this 1-cost Taffeta and the Floodball Taffeta. This King Candy has seen a little bit of play, but yeah, those are the races that we have at the moment. Hopefully more to be revealed in set 7. So yeah, as a Floodborn that you can play for 4 on top of another Calhoun, we need to see the shift targets, but 5/5 Quest for 2, it's not bad at all. Next up, we've got Perla from Cinderella. Nimble Seamstress. 3 cost Inkable, 3/2. It's adorable, man. Evasive and Support. Pretty good. Again, really well. Again, these Duel Link cards we expect to be slightly better statted than other cards of their cost. So yeah, having Evasive and Support on this. Support can matter for a number of reasons. Again, just like giving you more favourable trades. Since this is part Amber, then Support can help get things into the range of World's Greatest Criminal Mind. But only questing for 1, so I'm not sure how desperate people are going to be to get this in their deck, but she's super cute. Next up, we've got Restoring the Heart from Moana. It's an Amber Sapphire action, so great to see that we are getting these dual links on not just characters. 1 cost Inkable, remove up to 3 damage from chosen character or location, draw a card. That's not bad at all. Just any action that just draws you a card is going to potentially have synergies with other characters that care about actions. I don't think anyone is seeing this card and going, there you go, there's my reason to play Amber Sapphire. But if that colour combination does get better, then, you know, just a 1-cost card that draws a card is not awful. The removing damage ability is so-so. It can be useful. Overall, I'm not overwhelmed by it, but adore the art for sure. Next up, look at this Hades, my guys. Fast Talker. 6 cost Uninkable. 4/6. There's a Ruby Amethyst dueling. Quest for 2. For just a little pain. When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to banish chosen character with cost 3 or less. It's pretty cool. I fear it's too expensive along with being uninkable. We love the stat line. Doesn't fall to Medusa, doesn't fall to World's Greatest Criminal Mind. We'd like 7 on the willpower, but you can't have everything. Quest for 2 is nice. Dealing 2 damage to one of your own characters. Hey, there are characters that sometimes like to have damage on them, so that can create synergy. It's really cool. I don't think it's good enough, unfortunately. I would rather play the Hades we got in the last set, the Amethyst one, where your opponent loses law when your characters are banished. Oh, the art is so cool, and it's the first Ruby Amethyst dual link I'm seeing. It's not like, hey, it costs 3 or less. It's still like, that's a lot of characters. That's a Mr. Smee, my guys. That's a Diablo. That's an Ursula Deceivable. I don't know, maybe. It's uninkable. I don't know. I want to believe in this card. I don't know how much I can. It's not bad. It's not awful. We'll see. Next up, we got Sven. We had already seen this card before. This has been revealed. 5 cost Inkable, 2/6, Quest for 1. Rush and Formidable Glare. When you play this character, chosen character gets -3 strength this turn. I think this is okay. The -3 strength can certainly matter to give you a more favourable trade, whether that's with this Sven rushing or just another character on the board. Obviously, as a 5 cost, is super competing with Elsa. I don't know. I'm not an instant believer that this is good enough. It's an okay card. Certainly, you're going to be happy to have it probably in in sealed events. Would it be meta? I don't know. I'm not writing it off, but it's got a lot to compete with as a 5 cost character. Next up, we've got Kuzco, Panicked Llama. 4-cost uninkable. This is an EA tempo. Just win the game card. 4-cost uninkable, 2/2, quest for 2, evasive. And we can figure this out. At the start of your turn, choose one. Each player draws a card, or each player chooses and discards a card. Oh, I hate it. Breezy! I hate it. To be fair, it's 2 strength, and it doesn't trigger into the start of your turn, so it can just be brawled on a 4-cost uninkable. So yeah, I'm glad that there are answers to this, and it doesn't have wards, so there are other ways, like we remove it with cannons. There are lots of ways to remove this, which the stat line and the cost and being uninkable, I think, is probably writes this off, but this ability is strong. I mean, like, it's each player draws a card, but sometimes you don't mind that. But if you're just a discard deck, which isn't generally Emerald Amethyst. This is an interesting card. This ability is inherently strong, but I think the stat line and the cost do not give me hope for this card, but I adore it. Wow. Mufasa among the stars. If this art and one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Amethyst Steel, 7-cost inkable, 5/7, quest for 2, shift 5, evasive, and resist 1. Right, I know there's at least steel Mufasas. Alright, this is our only steel Mufasa, just one. This 7-cost inkable, 3/10, quest for 3. So, we need some more shift targets. We need some shift targets, some reasonable ones. Yeah. Being a Floodborn already makes it better. Maybe we get a spicy 7-cost song in Amethyst or Steel. So being able to shift is good. 5/7 is a good stat line. Quest for 2, evasive. Like, this seems like a solid card. We need shift targets, but I'm not sure if it's good. Like, it's a solid card, but if I think of Amethyst Steel, I'm not desperately like, oh, I need to make room for this immediately. Even if we had like a 1-cost 2/2 Mufasa, then I'm not sure this is an immediate, oh, I must find a way to play this card in a meta deck. But this art is absolutely stunning, and hey, maybe he'll find his place. Next up, we've got the Mad Hatter, Unruly Eccentric. 6-cost inkable, 3/5. This is an Emerald Ruby Duel Link. Quest for 2, an unbirthday present. Don't you care for tea? Whenever a damaged character challenges another character, you may draw a card. Okay, so damage matters deck, but the damage on your side being the most relevant. There are hyenas that we've looked at in the past. There's one where if you challenge a damaged character, then you can draw a card. But now you just need to put the damage on yourself, and we have cards that do that. Teeth and Ambitions, the Scar, the one that we looked at not too long ago, which puts damage. I've already forgotten what it was, but we just talked about it, and there are other cards that can. There's a Ruby Ralph, which when he's ready, you gain lore equal to the damage on him. So there's definitely pieces to this puzzle that we can put together and potentially start building a deck around this, because this is inherently a strong ability, and like if you can do it multiple times in a turn, it's going to take some setup. Unfortunately, I think 6 cost probably is too expensive, but really interesting card, and I love the art. Next up, we've got Yokai. Love this art for our boy. We've had him in both versions. This bit, we've got him a bit in the middle. Intellectual Schemer, Emerald Sapphire Duel Link. 2-cost inkable, 1/2, quest for 1. You pay 1 ink less to play characters using their shift ability. Okay, that's interesting. Let's take a look. Alright, a quick glance at all the Emerald Sapphire Floodborn characters, and let's pick out the ones that actually see play. Clarabelle, Mother Gothel there, King Candy a little bit, Merlin more for some fun than anything else, Diablo, Pegasus, for seeing play now, like this Grand Martala a little bit, Cogsworth, but it has to be by shifting. That's definitely worth bearing in mind. You have to shift the character, but still being able to pay 1 less to shift all of these characters that we see here and seemingly more to come is interesting. So yeah, this is definitely a card to keep your eye on. This will enable some spice, I'm hopeful. Next up, we got Mr. Smee, Efficient Captain, 3-cost uninkable, 3/3, Emerald Steel card, quest for 1, and pipe up the crew. Whenever you play an action that isn't a song, you may ready chosen pirate character. Okay, that's cool. Notice the lack of text saying they can't quest for the rest of the turn, or they can't challenge for the rest of the turn. That's super interesting. It just had to be any action that isn't a song. A quick look at the actions in Emerald Steel, but obviously ignoring anything that might be a song. Twin Fire, You Came Back, Bend to My Will, Hypnotic Deduction could see some play just for like synergizing with these items, these actions, these action-related cards. Rise of the Titans, Baboom, Improvise, Hypnotize, Fire the Cannons, Smash. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff there for sure. And if we get a nice high questing pirate character. In Emerald Steel, the pirates, questing for 2 more specifically, there's this Captain Hook, there's this Billy Bones, Don Carnage here, John Silver, John Silver with multiple locations, like multiple quests with him, not bad, Mr. Smee, and even just like to keep him safe, you don't even have to quest again, for him to like not take the damage potentially. John Silver, yeah, there's some stuff here. Like, this is a very interesting card which people will build around. Hi, it's me, I'm People. Next up, we've got Denahi. Not sure what this character is from. Impatient Hunter. Ruby Steel. Let's go. 3-cost Inkable, 3-2. Reckless and Resist 2. Resistor is pretty good on a 3-cost 3-2 character. Conquest and the Reckless ability we know is a negative. So yeah, not too crazy about this card, but Resist 2 on a character this cheap is not awful. We've already looked at this beast, so let's move on to Lady Cluck, Protective Confidant from Robin Hood. Absolutely love her. Blue Steel, let's go. 5-cost Inkable, 2-7, quest for 1, Bodyguard and Ward. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Ward, so you can't brawl her. Bag gold. She a big girl. I love it. All right. Next up, this one I'm not even sure where on the website it is. I've not been able to find it, but it's being posted all over social media, and it's the like #1 card being talked about so far from what I can see. We have an Emerald Sapphire action, 3-cost uninkable, Ink Geyser. Great art. Each player exerts all the cards in their inkwell. Then each player with more than 3 cards in their inkwell returns cards at random from their inkwell to their hand until they have 3 cards in their inkwell. This is going to be discussed at absolute length. There are going to be people that hate this card's existence. There are going to be people that love this card's existence. There are going to be people that think this card is absolute trash. This is incredible. This, no doubt, whether how good it ends up being, how meta it ends up being, this is an incredibly powerful ability against any Sapphire deck that's spending any time ramping. You just completely shut down their game plan and take them back to 3 ink. And sure, you're returning cards to their hand, but if they're playing a ramp deck, then a lot of their cards are high cost, so there's no guarantee they can even do anything other than like if they've got more of their cards to like start ramping again. Let's play more T-Bows, play more Sail the Azurite Seas, etc. But this is like a hard reset of the game. Why was the first thing I thought of? Fiber Jar. Again, shout out to my Yu-Gi-Oh! Old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Brethren. It's not as bad as Fiber Jar, but yeah, this is definitely one of the most powerful cards we've looked at so far, and I need to absorb this a bit more and decide how I think I actually feel about this. It's hard to really make a full assertion until you've seen the whole set, but yeah, this card is going to cause a lot of discourse. It's very strong. I will before the set's actually revealed, I will do like I want to do a tier list, so I will discuss this card again when I've had time to absorb it and seen more of the set. But yeah, what is your opinion on Ink Geyser? Let me know down in the comments and when I get round to talking about it in more detail, maybe we'll reference some of those comments. But sheesh, yeah, this is a big one. And the final card I'm going to look at, another one that I haven't been able to find actually on the website, but it's on social media. And there might be more that I've missed, but this will be the last one for this video. Look at this art! Sorry. But look at it. Giant Cobra, Ghostly Serpent. So it's not even a Jafar card. 3-cost Inkable, 4-4, quest for 1. Has that vanish keyword where if it's targeted by an action, then it's banished. Mysterious Advantage. When you play this character, you may choose and discard a card to gain 2 lore. This is fantastic reach. Like, as if Amethyst didn't have enough cards that are live, like jumps of 1 or 2 lore. Yeah, this is super good. It should be restricted to a dual link 100%. Imagine being able to play this in Ruby Amethyst. Yeah, this is a good card. I feel like a big part of me, to be honest, feels like this may be the strongest card that we've looked at today. I'll have to go over and look at them all again. Nonetheless, that's all I've got for now. So what a day for the first day of official reveals for Lorcana. Lots to absorb, lots to take in. Let me know down below which of these cards do you have a lot of hope for, which ones do you not have a lot of hope for, any characters or just artwork that you're a fan of. I'll hear all about it down below. And that's going to be it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe for all things Lorcana. Hit that like button to show your support, and we'll see you soon.